Hello everyone and welcome back to another cryptocurrency video. In today's video we will be discussing why I believe the Bitcoin price is topping out and why Bitcoin is heading lower in the short term. If you like this type of content, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, as it always makes help the channel grow. And if you are a fan of cryptocurrency, which I assume you are because you are watching this video, I have a cryptocurrency shop where you can shop cryptocurrency products. Anything from coins, t-shirts, accessories and jewelry. I'll leave a link in the description down below so you can get 5% off your next purchase. So in today's video we will be looking at a few indicators as to why I believe the Bitcoin price has topped out in the short term. To begin with, we're going to take a look at the past history of Bitcoin with regards to the month of January. At the moment, you can see that Bitcoin currently is putting in a topping tail, and we had a high of around just shy of 49,000. So the exact figure is 48,975 and 7 cents. So currently we're at 42,749 and 33 cents. If we take a look at the percentage decrease so far this week, we are currently down around 12% from the local highs. But let's take a look at past history, yeah? Let's take a look at past history because crypto is very cyclical. Yeah, it is very cyclical, and just by looking at the trends in the past, you can look at that trend and then you can use that to sort of analyze and predict where price can go in the future. So if we take a look at January 2023, you can see that Bitcoin actually rose, yeah? But the reason why Bitcoin actually rose is because, yes, we had just had a massive bear market where Bitcoin essentially dropped around 78%. So last January, Bitcoin done well. If we take a look at January before that, so Jan in 2022, you can see that, and this is a weekly chart by the way, you can see that January was a bit of a rocky month for Bitcoin. You know, we started around 47k and then we worked our way down essentially. So January 2022 was a bad month for Bitcoin. If we take a look at Jan 2021, and it is right here, you can also see that Jan 2021 was indeed a bad month for Bitcoin. If we take a look at 2020 and we move right here, you can see that it was a good month for Bitcoin. But most notably, it could have been a good month for Bitcoin because price essentially rallied up and then dropped all the way down around 50% or so. If we take a look at the January before that, so January of 2019, you can see that was also a rocky month for Bitcoin, especially even after just dropping a massive 50%. If we take a look at the January before that, we can go to 2018. You can see that Jan was a bad month for Bitcoin. Again in 2017, again January was a bad month for Bitcoin. So generally speaking, January is a rocky month for Bitcoin. Yeah, it is a very rocky month for Bitcoin, but it depends on the trend. Yeah, so as we've just discussed with the prior examples, you can see that if we've just come off a massive bear market, January tends to be a good month for Bitcoin. However, most of the time we head into January with an uptrend. Yeah, most of the times we head into January with an uptrend, and that coincides with a change of the trend. Yeah, and the reversal is likely to happen in January. That's just the way it is, and that's just how it's always played out. So we shouldn't expect anything different. You have to note as well that things in the past do not exactly play out how you'd expect in the future, even though we've just gone through prior examples. But with that being said, after a notable increase from 15k all the way up to just shy of 49k, you should expect some type of reversal to happen in January. That's just the way it is. We've also discussed the idea on this channel with regards to moving averages, and if I just bring up the bull market support band and the 100-day moving average. The 100-day moving average is significant, but let's just discuss the bull market support band. We haven't touched the bull market support band since October of 2023. So in just this essential 4-month rally, this 4-month rally where Bitcoin price just completely exploded, and it could be due to the narrative of the ETF, which most of it likely is, let's be honest with ourselves. Bitcoin has not revisited its bull market support band, which is currently sitting between 34.8k and 36.5k, and if we take a look at the drawdown of where it could go to the 21-week EMA, it is a 13.6% from current prices, and if price were to decrease even further to the 20-week, it is around 18.11%. So quite a significant drop between 14 and 18% to just reach the bull market support band. And the bull market support band, guys, is just a moving average that helps establish whether or not the sentiment in the market is bullish or bearish. You can see that if we expand through the bull market support band and then back test it as support, the trend is very bullish. However, the same can occur for the opposite side. If we break below the bull market support band and back test it as resistance, then the market is significantly bearish. So it's just a great indicator to use to essentially just establish whether or not Bitcoin is bullish or bearish. It's all about that back-tested support. So what we should watch out for in the future is if Bitcoin within the next 6 weeks or so, because I did say within the next 6 weeks or so, I do believe that Bitcoin will retrace back to the bull market support band at least. So if we do backtest, and the bull market support band will move up because they are moving averages, so over time they will start to curl up. If we do backtest this bull market support band, I will be watching for that level of support. That is probably the most important thing to analyze and see, because if we backtest this as support, you could expect us to go higher. That's just a fact. However, if the price crashes below the bull market support band, and it does something like this, where we go to the bull market support band, we kind of stall for a bit, break below, backtest it as resistance, you could expect to revisit at least the highs of 2023 back in April and back in June, at least. So you should expect a continuation of the trend if we backtest it as resistance, or you could assume that the trend will continue if we backtest it as support. That's just the way it is. If we take a look at the 100-day moving average, and I've discussed this in a prior video, Bitcoin in either December of the pre-halving year or January of the halving year, Bitcoin likes to test a 100-day moving average. If we take a look in prior history, so you go to December of the pre-halving year or January of the halving year, you can see that Bitcoin likes to essentially magnetize itself to this 100-day moving average. If we take a look in the cycle before that, you can see again Bitcoin likes to stall around that 100-day moving average. If we go to the cycle before that, you can see again that Bitcoin likes to stall at that 100-day moving average. So if we essentially make this chart a little bigger, you can see that in every cycle in Bitcoin's history, in either December of the pre-halving year or January of the halving year, Bitcoin tends to stall around that 100-day moving average. So what price is the 100-day moving at right now? And the 100-day moving average is at 27,965, just shy of 28k. Now that means you're probably assuming, there's only a couple weeks of January left. Are we really going to dump essentially 33% by the end of the month? And I'm not saying it can't happen, because this is Bitcoin, this is crypto, anything can happen. A 30% move is nothing for Bitcoin. either to the upside or to the downside. We've seen it many times. But I don't think it would actually touch January of the halving year this time. I'll be very surprised if it does. But I did say within 6 weeks, I think we could. Yeah, and the reason why I think we could is because this moving average is now starting to curl up. Yeah, as the days go on, the current day is replacing the day that was 100 years ago, and 100 years ago, 100 days ago, and 100 days ago price was a lot lower than it is today. So this moving average is going to start curling up. So we should expect it to come around that 30 to 32k level within the next 6 weeks. And that is when I believe Bitcoin will look to stall around the 100-day moving average. So that's just moving averages for you. If we take a look at this indicator, and I know you guys have probably seen it a million times before, but I'm just going to say it again because I feel like, again, cycles often repeat. Yeah, and if we take a look at this tool, I'm sure you guys all know what it is. It is the Fibonacci retracement tool. So if we take it from the high of the last bull market and put it to the low of this bear market, you can see that price has indeed hit the 0.618. This is the golden ratio. Yeah, the 618 is the golden ratio to determine whether or not Bitcoin is in a bull market or not. And the reason why I say this is because if we take a look at prior cycles, again, we can take the Fibonacci retracement, take it from the high of 2018 and put it to the low of 2018 again. You can see that Bitcoin indeed hit the 618 again. It just went over, just went north of the 618, but it was heavily rejected through resistance. Yeah. If we go back to the cycle before this, guys, you can see that the same thing happened again. If we take it from the high and put it to the low and then expand this, you can see that again Bitcoin was rejected. Oh, if I move this a bit lower, it's not entirely accurate. You can see that Bitcoin again was rejected by the 618. So the 618 is very important, but every time Bitcoin touches the 618 for the first time after coming out of the bear market, we get rejected with heavy resistance and Bitcoin goes into a downtrend. You can see 2 cycles ago, we touched the 618 after a lengthy bear market, and then we were rejected after a pump into it. Yeah. If we go into last cycle, after a lengthy bear market, Bitcoin rallied into the 618 and then went into a downtrend for 6 months. Could the same happen again? After a lengthy bear market in this cycle, Bitcoin has rallied to the 618. If history is any indication, we will look to go into a downtrend. That is just the way it is, guys. I know you guys don't want to hear this after being bullish for so long. Bitcoin hasn't seen any much red weeks in such a long time. And there was a statistic put out that I saw on X that Bitcoin hasn't had over a 20% correction in a single week for such a long time. Since the last bear market, yeah, Bitcoin hasn't put in a single 20%, over 20% correction since November of 2022. So the sentiment right now is so bullish, everyone's forgotten what a downtrend actually looks like. So I feel like this is going to come at a surprise to people. Even though I'm putting this content out there for you guys should be aware of a downtrend. I've showed you some indicators, I've showed you past history, I showed you the Fibonacci tool. Take it as you will, but I do believe we will enter some sort of a downtrend up until I'd say mid-March or the beginning of March, because that is when the halving narrative will surround Bitcoin again, and Bitcoin could at least put in a significant bounce against the lows that it will put in during Feb. So that's it from me today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and as always, it's been your boy J1 General. Thank you and goodbye.